All right, man, I'm excited. You know why?
Why? Why are you excited?
We're part of the Den.
Ooh, we're here having some whiskey in the den. Hanging out in the den. It's like the man den.
Yeah.
What's the den?
Den is the Deluxe Edition Network, an awesome network of podcasts that you could check out at deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Check out all the podcasts there. Lots of good stuff, including, now, fresh and new, Bacon is My Podcast. What's your bacon?
You look a little sweaty.
It's hot, dude.
You're schwitzing.
It's Miami.
We're in Miami. We literally just landed.
It's moist.
You would have thought that we went the sheen on our faces.
You have a moist beard.
I do have a moist beard. You would have thought that we were running a little bit.
If you were to rub your hands through my beard right now, it would feel like an upper inside thigh.
Yes.
On a hot day.
Yeah. 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 And like my shirt is two-tone. You see that?
Yeah.
So you would have thought that we were running. We were outside.
We did run a little today.
We did, but not to make this.
No, that was in the airport.
Yeah, that was in the airport. This is because we had drinks outside.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that for you. We sat down.
Yep.
We consumed beverages outside.
Yes.
So we're gonna do some podcasting in Miami.
So this is one of those times where I'm looking at us through the camera, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, are we in a weird lens or something? Because our heads look incredibly round. We look like a couple of basketballs right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a normal lens. I think we just have incredibly round heads.
We do. We're a couple of round-headed folk.
Yeah, we're like, this is like a billiard table with two
That's
left.
why I'm growing the beard out down here.
Trying to give yourself some length.
Exactly. It's making my face look thinner.
Once I cut my hair, boy did I get round.
We're gonna get to a room.
This is unfortunate.
And we're gonna have tacos and we're gonna talk. So
there it is.
Here we go. Hit the intro.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Hey, bud.
What's up?
Guess what time it is?
Fall.
Yes. You know what that means? That means that the trees are shedding their leaves.
Indeed, indeed. You know what does not shed leaves automatically?
Testicles, and cheeks.
Right. So it is time for some fresh ball fall action.
Yeah.
My friends.
Manscaped, the Lawnmower 4.0, featuring their patented skin-safe technology.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you're not using Manscaped yet, what are you waiting for? Come on.
And what do your balls look like? Ooh.
Right? It's got an LED light, so if you're worried about nicking something or not being able to see, you don't have to worry, man. The lawnmower has it.
Shave in the dark.
Exactly. It's waterproof.
It is waterproof.
Go into the shower. If you don't want to make a mess outside the shower, go in the shower.
Shave in a dark shower.
Yeah, you can do that with Manscaped. If you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, it'll give you 20% off and free shipping.
Free shipping.
And it's not even just for the lawnmower.
No, it's for everything. You can get the crop mops, shampoo, they have body soap, they have lotions, all kinds of things. Check it out, manscaped.com. If you can't remember the promo code, just jump over to baconsmypodcast.com and check out our sponsors page.
Always remember to clean your testicles, your chesticles, and your cheeks with Manscaped.
Yeah, man. What's your bacon?
Miami, Jimmy.
Yeah, Miami. Just gonna hang here and squeeze a few limes.
Squeeze some limes on our birria tacos.
Yeah.
Here from
Oh my God.
Party in the city where the heat is on all night on the beach to the break of dawn. Going to Miami. Manito, Miami. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited, man. So yeah, we literally just got here. I'm gonna go grab napkins real quick.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So we figured we ordered some tacos. Got a couple beverages. We were like, let's go upstairs, eat tacos, have a beverage, and chat.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a discussion and drink.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does.
So you tried one of these. You said that it was more stale than... It was takeout, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can always dip it in your birria sauce. Your consomme.
So,
which is really good.
as you can see here, pretty decent shot
Yeah.
of the Miami. There's like a marina here.
Sweet view, bro.
I think we'll have to do a show from yours because you got a pretty sweet like city view.
Yeah, I got a city view, and I actually have a balcony, so we might even be able to do like a little bit of an outside thing.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, all about changing locations, changing it up, baby.
Yeah, man. All right. So,
We're gonna try this burrito taco.
tasting some burrito tacos.
Cheers, bud.
I
The
love
consomme is thicker
Yeah,
than
definitely.
a normal one. Oh,
Man.
and that makes me happy.
Dude, if you've never had a burrito taco,
I've had one.
I've definitely talked about it on the show before. To our listeners, if you've never had a burrito taco, get them all the time. Like we were looking on DoorDash for food, and we found a little taco place, and he was looking through the menu first, and you just showed me like you had it all ready for me to hit yes, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to look anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. It's so ridiculously good.
I've had burrito tacos a couple of times. I think this is probably the best I've had.
Yeah. I think I have to agree. These are probably the best burrito tacos I've ever had. I've had
All right.
them like maybe 5 times.
So, those traveling was twice butter, right? Mm-hmm. Hit twice butter
Twice butter here in Miami.
here in Miami.
Oh.
I'm gonna cheers you guys for some excellent burrito tacos.
Really good. And you got some mystery tacos too.
I did. I got bonus tacos.
Yeah, bonus tacos.
Bonus tacos are great.
Which we should probably try in between our burrito tacos.
I agree. All right, so I'm gonna move these.
I'm going to finish this one. And we're going
I'm gonna.
to see what these bonus tacos are.
All right, so I got fish taco. Mm-hmm. And like tuna tartare.
Both sound amazing.
So I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of
Little limon.
lemon onto each of them. And
So it looks like we have, on the fish taco, looks like we have a crema.
yep.
Looks maybe like spicy mayo. Some guac. Some red onion. And
Yeah, it's definitely
shaved
cabbage.
cabbage. Nice.
And
Tuna looks like
it's very
we got-
similar. But this looks like it's
Oh, we got like a
like
crunchy.
fried
Yeah.
on the outside because
Oh, man.
it is a little cooler.
All right. Well,
So,
I'm gonna
You go for that.
I'm gonna bite into half of this.
Yeah, I'll do half of
You
this.
do half of that, and then we'll swap
Right.
it up.
Cheers, friend.
Cheers, friend.
Yeah, that's good. I love tacos,
Oh man, you're gonna really like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know what kind of fish it is, but it's great.
it's probably a whitefish of some sort.
Yeah,
but-
it's like very lightly battered too. It's not fried, or if it is,
It
it's
is
like
fried.
pan fried.
Yeah.
It's probably not deep fried.
okay.
Really good though. All right, and this is not cooked
No.
at all. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh man, that's great.
That was a major move. Like that could have gone so very wrong,
Yeah,
but
But
was
It went so very right.
it was legit.
It went very very right. God, tacos are so good.
Dude, twice butter.
Yeah.
Twice butter. And you know what's really cool about it? We got to take out from DoorDash.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ruin the integrity.
No,
or maybe it does. And imagine if it's better than this.
Right? Imagine fresh how great it would be.
Yeah. So, yeah, big shout out, man. We had a fun day, though. We had an interesting day.
I was gonna say it's not typically what I would pick for a fun day, right? Went to the airport.
Right.
We got delayed.
Yeah.
They switched gates on us. We had to rush. Get on the plane. We were crowded in aisle seats. But while we were at the airport, we had 3 beverages.
Yeah.
And some delicious food.
Yeah.
Because we were delayed, so we had time.
We had time.
There's our silver lining.
Right.
Once we got our steps in.
We did get our steps in because they did delay us. But then they also changed the gate.
Yep.
And that gate was not near our gate.
And then
we were assigned.
On the plane, whole row in front of me,
Right.
empty. Happened to be an exit row. So, a little ways into the flight, we both got to jump into that.
It's pretty great.
Got more leg room, and just 2 of us.
Yeah. Yeah, a little like what was it, halfway through?
Yeah, about halfway through.
I'm just glad that it wasn't during my movie.
What did you watch? What did you end up watching?
I watched Ninja Turtles again.
Did you? Okay.
I love that movie.
I still haven't seen it.
God damn it, Jimmy.
I know. I want to see it.
We need to.
I want to see
rectify
it.
this.
Very much
soon.
so. I want to see it.
Maybe we rent it this weekend or something. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time.
I'm sure we can figure something out.
We could try to figure something out. Maybe do it during breakfast tomorrow.
Ah.
I'd watch that shit again. That movie was great. I love that movie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Mel.
And together we host the podcast
Spoil My Movie. We were watching movies anyway.
And we were having in-depth conversations about those movies too.
So, we decided to share our thoughts with the world.
You can expect me to gripe about inaccurate details like supposedly cold weather, but you can't see anyone's breath.
And you can expect me to be totally adorable, but also psychologically deep.
And by the end of each episode, we'll provide our respective ratings.
Using a rating scale custom tailored to the movie in question.
Check us out wherever you get your podcasts.
We're everywhere. We're actually behind you right now.
Time out.
Yeah.
Have you guys checked out baconismypodcast.com yet?
It's like the portal to everything Bacon is my podcast. It's got episodes. Mm-hmm. It's got music.
Yeah.
It's got swag.
Yeah.
And it has a portal to all of our sponsors, our awesome sponsors like GrillYourAssOff.com, Drink Wild Bills, Manscaped, and, of course, Mythical Beards.
Mythical Beards, yeah. So check it out. I mean, you can just, from one page, find so many things.
Yes.
Right? Check out our swag. Check out their swag. Get those discount codes and just, help out the show.
Exactly. And always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
Yep.
Now,
I'd love to go a little bit more into it, but
you can.
It's fucking
It's
good.
all right. I'm familiar with how Ninja Turtles works.
They made some adjustments.
Okay. Well,
But adjustments that I'm actually totally cool with.
okay. Well, that for one is already a good thing,
The way they did it was very tasteful.
Okay.
And they did it right. Like, they didn't mess around too much, but they made, as logical as mutant turtles being raised by a mutant rat.
Well, the fan base has the logic
Right.
that needs to be adhered to. It doesn't jive with real world situations. But we like things to be the way we like them. I understand Shredder's not the big bad.
No, he's not in it.
Which is cool. I think that's cool.
He's not in it.
Because that leads you to believe that they're planning on something else.
Maybe.
That they're going to set up a future,
Well,
which I enjoy.
as a fan of the comics, so this story not only sets up, so the big bad is actually not a character
Really?
in the comics or the movies.
Really? That's interesting.
He is connected.
Was it created for the movie? Or
Yes.
Okay.
He was created
That's a brave move.
by Baxter Stockman.
Okay. So there's the connection, but still.
There is that connection, and that connection brings all of those other characters in.
Is this an origin? Like, are they
No.
doing a new origin? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, they graze over it.
But they've existed and been...
It's one of those things, like, I think it's very smart the way they approach it, and it's the way that a lot of these movie studios are approaching the origin stories. It's like, you know how this happened.
No one needs to see it again. Yeah.
We don't need to go in depth
Right.
as to how this happened. This one they did go into how it happened, but like it wasn't like the whole movie.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
But they made some tweaks, interesting tweaks, good tweaks in my opinion.
Cool. Okay.
And I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
How do you feel about movies or Hollywood or whatever kind of relying on nostalgia, and how much do you like them to kind of go into the nostalgia versus tell a new story?
I'm not, so like for instance, I mean, we've covered this ad nauseum here on this show. We're both fans of Marvel movies. We're both really excited to see Marvel movies, enjoy them, that kind of stuff. I enjoyed the movie Venom. I liked it for what it was. The fanboy side of me goes, well, you can't have Venom without Spider-Man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
But the other side of me is like, well, we never really had a correct depiction of the character.
True.
And I think in that instance, I think Eddie Brock was well done by Tom Hardy. And I think the character of Venom is really, really cool. And maybe not like dead on to the comic, but it created... It was almost like the Heath Ledger Joker.
Right.
Was it as good as Heath Ledger Joker? No. Alright, I get it.
Very
Okay.
few things are,
But-
if anything.
But when you're talking character tweaks, it was I would equate it to that.
Well, see, that's one of the things that I kind of point to when I do talk to people that get really mad about nostalgic, that want more nostalgia, they want it to be more true to the comic. I'm like, how come you're a Heath Ledger fanboy then? How can
Well,
you
at
be?
the same time, too,
Right?
like, you read the comic. Okay, yeah. It's cool that they've brought it to life on a silver screen, right? But you want to watch exactly what you read in the comic book?
And also, the comic you read, if you continued to read comics and you stayed as a subscriber and you've read everything up until now, right? Then maybe you can say something. But then I think everyone would have to agree that you've seen a number of different takes and a number of different origins for the same character.
Well, that's the thing.
Because
is
different
that-
comics. Venom is a great example.
Right.
Because in certain Spider-Man comics, now we have Peter Parker's parents helped create the symbiote. Right? And it's not an alien. But then in other Spider-Man comics, we have Cull, the Conqueror up in space, who is the king of all the symbiotes. And they're all connected throughout multiverses, which seems closer to what we're doing in this. So it's like, depending on your fandom, like, what are you going to get mad at? Like, your thing isn't there? So, to me, it's always kind of like, would I like to see the same story I read? Yes, because it would just be cool.
It would just be cool
because
to see.
I pictured it in my head when I was reading it when I was a kid and everything. But also, would I rather see a new story that kind of brings things forward and allows for future things? Yes.
Well,
I'd rather see that.
That taps into the nostalgia factor.
Right.
Right? Like, you seeing exactly what you saw, print for print, word for word, cell by cell.
Right. But I think that I would enjoy less for it being a cool movie and story and more for the effort to keep it line by line, cell by cell.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? So it would be more like, oh, I can't believe they did that. And it would be more of like an exercise in like, oh, look at the work that went into recreating a thing shot by shot or whatever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be excited because like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this movie. It would be like, oh my God, they recreated, that's going to be crazy to watch. So, and I'm just not a nostalgia guy, I guess.
Well, you think about it this way too. It's like we went into Infinity War as a 2-part movie, knowing full well whereas the casual watcher, right, the people that are like, oh well, comic books characters are coming to life on movies, mainstream movies. I am excited to see where this leads.
Yeah.
Whereas we knew that there was some source material there.
Right.
So going into a 2-parter with Thanos, you're like, oh, half the world's gonna fucking die.
Right. Right.
Like, we knew it. We knew it going into the movie.
But it was more how are they going to tell it?
They changed it. They changed the way it was done. And
how are
overcoming...
How are they going to tell this story? And what characters are they going to use to tell
Right.
this? Who's going to be this character in this? It was that same thing with Civil War.
Right.
Because it was like, oh, who's
It was
going to
huge.
have this role? And who's going to have this role in that? And how close are they going to stay?
Well, and then you think about Civil War too, the comic books. Like, it was such a bold move to introduce Spider-Man into a movie, or into that universe through a Civil War movie.
Considering his part in the actual Civil War
his
comic.
part in Civil War was that he showed his identity, was on Tony Stark's side, and showed his identity, and then when he did, he had so many problems that he ended up defecting to Captain America's side.
Right.
But you're like, well, we can't give
Right,
this guy's
now they're introducing
origin.
him as a kid instead
Right.
of
instead of an established.
the adult established Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's really interesting how
So I find that stuff
adaptations.
exciting. Yeah.
I like adaptations. I really do.
Me too. I prefer adaptations. I like to see someone else's perspective on a character that I think I know.
Right.
And then it shows me something different. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't.
Right.
You know? Jared Leto's Joker. I love the Joker. One of my favorite characters of all time. I didn't like at all the look of Jared Leto's Joker.
Yes.
I did not mind how he played him, and I wanted to see more of it, but I just didn't get enough, so I didn't get to connect at all.
And hey, listen, we've talked about it a number of times here. You and I have talked about it in the past 2 or 3 weeks that if you're the same person you were 5 years ago,
Right. You wasted 5 years.
you've wasted 5 years. Thank you, Triple H.
Yes.
Because but I shit all over that character because I was like, man, if you take away the green hair and the white face and the red lips, he's just another mobster. He's
Right.
just another guy. who's like a crime boss, right? But now, especially hearing Jared Leto talk about it, hearing David Ayer talk about it, he had a much bigger role. He had a different role.
Well, he was the main villain.
Right. And it's like, oh, wow, so they changed it that much.
Yeah.
That you didn't actually
get
to see
his whole arc.
Right. So it's one of those things where you're just like, wow, okay, so I didn't actually get to see how it was depicted.
Right.
Now, seeing his role in the extended Justice League, that Joker made me realize, okay, he wasn't given a fair shot in this other movie.
Well, yeah. Well, I when he got cast as a Joker, I was like, oh, he's gonna kill this.
I was excited.
Jared Leto is an
I was excited
actor.
When they released the photo of him.
Everybody shit on it
because
everybody hated it because it said damaged on top. That's why, and they were like emo, stupid.
Which
I get.
I hated that. I hated the tattoo thing.
The smile on his hand? I love
the head one, the tear.
I love the one on his hand.
Yeah,
I love when he was
fine.
like that and it's like the big smile. I was like, oh my god.
There's been versions of
want that
Joker like tatted up, like full sleeves and stuff.
There's a version of the Joker that looks very much like his version of the Joker in the comics without. I honestly think if it didn't say damaged on his forehead, no one would have a problem.
No.
I think that little choice.
I loved the fact that he had platinum teeth or gold teeth.
Because Batman knocked his teeth out.
Because you're not telling an origin story, he's been around the block for a little while.
Yep.
So to me, I was like, that is a cool...
I liked that too.
That's a great nod to stories that are being told, but have more lineage behind it that you want to find out about.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I did shit all over it when it first came out, and I think it was because of that damage thing, and I was like, ugh.
I hated that too. Yeah.
But yeah, the more and more I seen his work and in the film, and then seeing that extended version of Justice League, which, quite honestly, was a piece of garbage. I don't know why. I don't know why I was like, I hated this movie. Let's watch the longer one.
Right. Well, because you hoped it would be fleshed out.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was. I mean,
it was.
If you're,
I'm sorry. The Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut is what he appeared in, because they did a whole bunch of reshoots and stuff. Yes. Which was a better movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good movie, but it was still a better movie.
It was a Zack Snyder movie.
Right.
It was even more of a Zack Snyder movie.
Right.
Which, cool, man. I'm super excited for Rebel Moon. I want to see Zack Snyder's like, oh, I'm doing a Star Wars movie. Oh, Lucas won't give me the rights to it. I'm still going to do it. Like, I'm down.
Nice.
You didn't hear about that?
I did not hear about this.
So it's coming out on Netflix, and he wanted to make he was gonna do a Star Wars movie, like in the universe of Star Wars and everything, and ended up I don't know all the things, so correct us, let me know what's up, but as far as I'm aware, it didn't end up working out to where he was gonna be able to do it like as a Star Wars in that canon, in that. Right. But he was like, well, I wanted to make an adult Star Wars movie. I'm still going to do that. So I'm still going to make a movie with a galactic battle between a rebel force and an empire type of thing, and there's laser swords, and it's going to still be here. And he did it. It's
wow.
Yeah, and it's coming out on Netflix. It's called Rebel Moon. And I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But I also know it's gonna be long.
And it's gonna be dark.
And it's gonna have a lot of exposition where you're just like, when's the next fun scene.
Where's the beat? Where's the beat here?
When's the next fun scene happening?
I feel like I had a problem with his Watchmen too.
Well, the same problem. Like if you watched the Watchmen show, it's incredible.
It's on my list.
Awesome.
Now,
it's
is
how
that
the movie should have been.
Is it? Because I know that it's a sequel. So is
Right.
it a sequel to the comics, or is it a sequel to the?
More the comics?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
I wasn't sure.
But his Watchmen was really close to the book. Like
it was really close all the way until like.
Right.
There was one point they were just like, "What is this?"
Right. But it was. I mean, he did a good job.
He did a very good job.
He was a fan of that. You could tell he was a fan of that, and I was surprised. Like, I mean, I liked Man of Steel.
Yeah, that was good. I know a lot of people were upset about Batman killing Zod right away, but like
Superman killing Zod.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Superman killing Zod.
I mean, everybody's mad about Batman killing everyone because.
Well, Batman, you know.
But Zack Snyder said from the beginning, he was like, "Yeah, well, I'm talking about a real world Batman, and I'm a real world Batman. He kills people."
Well,
and I was like, "Well, you don't understand the character, but okay."
Well, I mean, one could argue in the original Batman comics,
sure,
the very, 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 very beginning,
when he had a gun,
he had a gun,
okay,
and he shot and killed the Joker.
He was a swashbuckler, yeah, but
doesn't mean I like it,
right?
I thought that was shit too, but but
right.
All right, quick timeout. I want to let everybody know that despite the summer being gone and heading into the fall, does not mean that grilling season is over.
No, if you have a grill, it is always grilling season.
I feel like it's just getting started, and if you're grilling, if you're cooking, if you're doing any of that, make sure you do that with grillyourassoff.com.
Taste the freedom.
Exactly. Grill Your Ass Off is an awesome, awesome company. It is made in Texas. It is veteran-owned, and they were Small Business of the Year.
Yeah, Veteran Small Business of the Year 2023, which is awesome. That's amazing.
Yep.
They also just partnered with Sailor Jerry. Now, rum may be my personal avoid at all costs booze, but some people really love it, and I guess I have to admit, even at its worst, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a new Sailor Jerry Ironsides barbecue sauce that you can check out, too. And anything that you decide to get at grillyourassoff.com. You want a deal? You want a special? You want some money off? Use the promo code.
Bacon. Because everything's better with bacon.
Yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Come on. 10% off. Get it on all of their jerkies, all of their seasonings, all of their condiments, even their swag. Their swag is pretty sweet.
Yeah, spread some seasoning on those swags.
So definitely head over to grillyourassoff.com, use the promo code BACON for 10% off, and always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
Hey, this is Casey Shearer.
And this is Ray.
Do you like pop culture?
We're pretty sure you do.
Then come on over and check us out at deluxeedition.show.
You will not be sorry. Or maybe you will be. I don't know.
You know, he could have gone that route.
When him and Robin were trading goofy quips while fighting Starro, the space starfish.
Yeah.
Right? That also was back then.
Right.
So, you know, let's not lionize the past too much, shall we? Everybody picks and chooses what nostalgia they like.
Right.
Like,
Hey, man, Starro.
It's like wrestling too. They're like Attitude Era. And it's like, yeah, Duke the Dumpster was part of that.
No. He was just before that. He was
in there. He was in there. But you know who was in there? Choppy the PP.
That was in there.
That was Attitude Era.
That was absolutely in there.
That was Attitude Era.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah.
I laughed, but yeah.
Yeah. Candace was the women's champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of terrible things in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Everybody loved DX. No shit.
Something I will say going back to Batman, though, is I don't know if this is a controversial thing or a hot take or whatever, I like Ben Affleck as a Dark Knight Returns style Batman.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's another one where I think no matter who plays Batman ever, the immediate reaction is going to be the shit all over it. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to play Batman, and everybody's going to go, "Oh, I loved it from the beginning." Like Ben Affleck, everybody shit on it, and then it came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's pretty good. He was probably the best part of that movie."
Right. Well, yeah. I mean,
him and Wonder Woman were the two shining lights going on there. I thought he was good. I enjoyed it.
I like him as a grizzled Dark Knight Returns style Batman. I really do. I would have loved. Well, I know they had the Batman thing that they were originally going to do, where it was like they were talking about it being based in Arkham Asylum and all that stuff. I feel like that movie,
Deathstroke, right? It was good.
Well, I think Deathstroke was going to be an original, was going to be the main.
Yeah.
But I know that it was set in Arkham and was going to feature like everybody and he was going to be stuck in there.
Right.
I wasn't excited about that story because of how many people he was going to interact with. And like, even in a 3-hour Batman movie,
right?
If you put him against his whole rogue gallery in one movie, it just means that you're seeing somebody on screen for 10 minutes and going, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I heard that and I was kind of like, I played Arkham Asylum and I beat it, and it's a really good game.
Right.
It feels like that's what you're going to show me. Like, I've seen you're going to put all those cutscenes together for me. Like, it's like going on YouTube. If you go on YouTube right now and you look up Arkham Asylum, all cutscenes, it's probably an hour and a half long, and it's that movie.
Yeah. So that I wasn't excited about, but I would have loved for them to adapt the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns style movie.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I'm interested in The Brave and the Bold because I think it's going to be cool to see Damian Wayne brought in. And that's interesting because if he's coming in, then you have to acknowledge that there was another Robin. And there was another Robin. And there was another Robin.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how they handle that because we never, can't say never, but we never really got the gritty depiction of Batman with that past.
Right.
We never really, also everybody goes, fuck Robin. That guy sucks. But the way I see it is that Robins generally, on the whole, branch out to create awesome stories. You've got Red Hood.
But they also never showcase Robin as Robin actually is, because Robin is like a 10-year-old boy.
Right.
That Batman is training to fight people and then taking out with him on patrol.
Right.
Which is not healthy. It's a really weird... One could argue it's a strange way to bring up a child.
Sure.
It's, let's put you in some tight green panties and go out on the town and beat up some grown adult men.
I want to be in all black. You're going to be in orange and red and green. Yeah. You're going to look like fucking Christmas.
So guess what you are?
Cape.
Guess what you are? The target. So you better be fast.
You're 10. You've got little legs. Keep up.
Keep them moving. Keep them moving, small time. So it's hard. I think it's hard to showcase Robin like that. And I think the only way you can do it is if you bring in Damian Wayne, because if you try and show any other Robin in a way that's like legit, you're gonna have to age them up. And it's gonna end up kind of being weird because it's gonna look weird. It's gonna be like, it doesn't really do it, Whereas you get Damian Wayne's his son for one, and two, been trained by ninjas since birth.
Right.
So you've got more of a like the girl from Kick-Ass type of vibe going on.
Hit girl,
which still messed up. It looks weird. But you can suspend your disbelief a little bit more instead of being like, oh, you took a 10-year-old gymnast from the circus and now they're fighting thugs with guns. All right, Dad.
I'm curious as to how they do that, because they haven't really gone into the Robin lore
right
at all, which people could say Robin sucks, but it's because he's a kid.
Yeah, man. Nightwing doesn't suck at all.
He was never like Burt Ward was quite witty,
right?
But normally they weren't that witty. They were a fucking kid. So of course,
apparently, Burt Ward also had a fantastic dick.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
Well, his My Life in Tights, the cover of his book, is just a close-up shot of him in the green tights,
The crotchal area,
and it's a package of crotch.
It's all there.
There's all there. There was a satchel full of cold cuts, whatever. I don't know.
Full of dick meat.
Full of dick
Go ahead
meat.
and say it. Go ahead and say it. Full of dick meat.
Worst. Full of worst. He gave you the worst.
Well, see, you brought up Kick-Ass,
Yeah.
which we could go into that a little bit too. It's messed up, but at the same time,
idea, right? Like,
at
it
the
was
same
showing
time,
how messed
though,
up it was.
But at the same time, like Batman, at its core, Batman's messed up too.
Absolutely. Well, no, and
So I think
there's an argument to be made that the closest to what Batman actually would be is probably Nicolas Cage in Kick-Ass 2.
right.
Like, and Nick Cage is the best.
He's in one.
He's the best. Oh yeah, one. He's the best. Whatever. He's Nick Cage.
He's Nick fucker. Great movie.
Oh my god.
Such a great movie.
Oh my god.
So great.
Oh my god. The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah.
Turn this off.
If
and
you
go
haven't
watch
seen
that.
it, pause this.
Turn this
go
off.
Watch it.
Go watch it.
It's only an hour and a half.
Oh my god.
And come back.
I want to watch it again. Oh my god. I've seen it like 5 times now.
Yeah, I watched it 2 times, and I watched it on flights.
Oh, gosh.
Mostly because it's a really easy watch. Because it's an hour and a half.
I don't know if I can watch it on flights anymore because I laugh out loud and I look like a maniac in my seat.
I don't care.
Right? Like I'm I'm just. And now I know somebody. I can quote it. So now I'm
that's
just
great.
like now I'm like out loud. It's like,
Oh, you haven't seen this movie? I'll reenact
certain
it.
things
No
I
worries.
can't. Oh, you're
Just
trying
look
to
at the
sleep?
screen.
You're trying to sleep?
You're trying to just look at my screen.
Oh, you just got the kid
you.
to shut up? I have headphones in, so I can't hear him. So
I was a huge fan of Kick-Ass.
yeah,
It
was
the
great.
comic book. The comic book.
Yeah, I didn't.
first movie
Did you
was great.
Did you already know the comic book before you saw the movie?
I saw the first movie,
Okay.
and then I read the whole series.
Okay. Yeah.
And I read the third one before I went to see the second one.
Gotcha. I didn't pick up the comic until after I'd seen the second one. I knew the comic existed, but I saw the first one, loved it, and then it was kind of like, oh, I gotta get that comic. Oh, I gotta do that. And then I just never did. And then I saw the second one, and I was like, I gotta read these comics.
Yeah.
And then I did.
And what sucks about the second movie is there's several parts that are like incredibly brutal
Yeah.
that really, really make for the importance of the story and have like big impacts on the story that they didn't do in the movie itself. That disappointed me a little.
I didn't read that comic. I didn't get that.
Oh, you didn't read the second one? Mm-mm. The third one, yeah. Read all 3.
Okay.
And if you get a chance, read the Hit Girls because those are fantastic.
I've heard good things about those too.
Those are fantastic. They just released another Kick-Ass series. I don't know if it's a series or another graphic novel, but it's basically a kick-ass, somebody who acquires the kick-ass costume.
Okay.
And it's a different kid from high school.
Gotcha.
So it's, I think he's African American, which
And he also
read.
cannot feel pain.
I haven't read it.
Gotcha.
So I haven't seen it, but yes, read the whole thing of Kick-Ass because it's very good. The second comic, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll see the giant holes where, because you get disconnected.
Okay.
There's things that don't happen in the movie that make you go, man, this is what he's fucking fighting for.
Okay.
And it's there's certain things that might be implied in the movie.
Okay.
But they're not played out. The way that
why do you think they didn't do that?
Graphic
Just too
nature.
graphic?
Yeah, graphic nature of it.
Okay.
Couple of things, but
terrible child.
yeah, but there's another part where Jim Carrey, I don't want to say.
Okay.
Because you're gonna, but I think Jim Carrey had the part not in the movie, and then when they finished the movie, he was like, "It's too violent. I'm not going to promote this movie.
Right.
I regret doing it." And it's like, well, you know what? We should have done this then. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jim Carrey.
How are you going to do that? Okay, you became a different person once the movie was over. Okay. I mean, they should have signed him to a different contract, I guess.
I always was a little bit of a Jim Carrey hater after that.
Yeah.
Because it was like, man, you didn't read the source material? You didn't...
Well, a lot of actors don't do that for some of these comic movies, man. And a lot of the studios tell them not to.
Okay.
You know, I've also seen interviews where they're like, yeah, the studio honestly told me not to read the comics because they're changing things.
Yeah, but his character itself was not a lot of change.
Mm-hmm.
There were parts. The script and the movie were pretty fucking close, except for these big holes.
Gotcha.
And
did he stop them from doing those things for the movie?
I don't know. I'd have to figure it out.
Because that could even be a studio thing too. That could be whoever's financing the movie might be like, I'm not paying for you to do that.
Right.
You know, but yeah.
I mean,
I recently saw
should
something.
I say it or no?
Well, go ahead.
All right. So basically, what happens is
everybody right now is going, just say it.
All right. So what happens is Jim Carrey
Spoilers.
is fighting off the big bads, or not Jim Carrey, but his character.
Right.
They end up getting the best of him, and Kick-Ass finds him dead with his dog's head on him. And his head on the dog.
Okay.
And then the other thing was, which I understand was Kick-Ass's girlfriend.
Right.
Ends up getting raped.
Right.
Which I like. That I understand, but those two things are major parts of the story.
Yeah, I feel like if there's things that are paramount to the story, they should be in. You know, and
it's his.
I understand it'll affect the rating, and then they're like, if
it's already rated R.
Yeah, but they might. Who knows? If they do a dog's head on a dude and then a rape scene, then now you've got NC-17.
Right. Well, I would say, you
could allude to things.
You could allude to the rape scene.
You know, but I think
But they didn't really do that either.
I do think that if there are certain things that are paramount to your protagonist's reasoning behind what they're doing, I think they should be in. Hey, have you ever wondered how you could actually help the show out? I mean, not just listening and giving a 5-star review or buying a t-shirt or working with sponsors. A little bit of extra zazz. Yeah. Are you one of those people that likes extra stuff? That likes a little bit more? Can't spell extraordinary without that little extra.
Exactly. So if you like that stuff, if you want a little bit of extra bacon, like tasting shows and cooking shows and early access to episodes, I mean, shoot, you can't get any earlier than live.
That's true.
Every week we do our discussion and drinks live for our patrons over at patreon.com/baconismypodcast.
Check it out. Check out the tiers. See what's right for you. Help us out. We love you. Thanks for being a part of it. Remember to ask yourself, what's your bacon?
I think the Jim Carrey move, and if I'm not mistaken, he lived.
Yeah, he might have had something in his contract that said he's not going to die.
It might have been one of those situations where they're like, oh, well, it's Jim Carrey and this is a property, maybe we can do a spin-off kind of thing.
Right.
But
keep him on the hook. Yeah.
Dude, like, you know what he's got the script.
Right.
You know that it's teenagers that are fucking killing people.
Right.
In a superhero movie, and
right.
You are an incredibly violent person. And that's your job. That's your script. What makes you think that this movie is going to be something you want to show your kids? It's not.
You know it's
not. And that's why he disowned it. And it was like, dude, what? Okay.
Right.
Like, I get that we're
right.
Again, if you're the same person you were, whatever. But
he filmed the movie, and then who knows when he finished filming from when it came out.
Right.
He could have had something happen in his life. That's when he went on his weird sabbatical and
right.
Did all those weird things. Who knows, man? Who knows? I saw something recently.
It was incredibly important to the story, and he shouldn't have left the movie alive because his death was very important.
He may not have had anything to do with that. That might have been a studio going like, we can get him on the hook if this goes well.
Yeah.
You know, because I've seen that before. You know what I mean? Like, you get a great actor and a known quantity in a movie. Oh, now we have a superstar in this movie. Well, we can't kill them off. You know, that's the problem when you have. I think that one of the problems with some of the early, like, Marvel movies and DC movies was that they were killing off villains.
I agree.
Like, I hated that, but
I completely agree.
Because it was like, yo, this is a rogues gallery. This is somebody that continues to come back. And the one time they left it open and they didn't kill the guy died.
Right.
The one time.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, seeing Scarecrow come back in Batman was great. It
was awesome.
Right? Because it was like, yeah.
Because you know what?
Because he's still in Gotham.
That's why Batman has 100 years of stories.
Yeah.
Because they don't fucking kill people.
Because he doesn't kill anybody, so they keep coming back. So it makes you go, is he the problem? Or are they the problem? Is he creating? If he didn't exist, would they not exist?
Yeah, I was just watching that documentary on Max.
Yep.
It's the what is it? It's some sort of documentary on DC villains.
Right.
And
yes, I think it's called Villains.
Yeah,
I think it's,
and they said it's
and that's
like
the same thing.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
What's creating what? You know, and that was even brought up in the Batman movies.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You know, the Riddler went to Gotham because he was like, "This is a challenge for me.
Here's the guy.
I want to go."
Yeah.
So that's super cool to me. Like that's
Yeah, and that's happened in all the different comics. Like, when you go through comics, there's always some time where there's like that hero journey where somebody poses the question to them, like, are you really stopping anything?
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're creating a challenge for people that want to be challenged. And so now instead of just a robbery, instead of just a carjacking, now they're trying to do something to get your attention because you're the challenge and they want to test themselves against you. So it escalates everything.
Yeah.
You know, and then you don't you put them away and they get out and they have time to think about their next move, and you know it's a really cool kind of like thing about that hero. I wonder. Life wants balance, right?
I would love for that to be explored.
I wonder in real life if there was a hero, right, that started getting notoriety, that was like solving crimes, that was solving cases, that was not a cop, that was, you know, not superpowers or anything like that, but like that was coming in and just really creating a, would that not excite someone darker to kind of like rise up? You know, you think of these serial killer stories like the Zodiac and stuff like that, who were challenging people to get them.
Right.
You know, like what happens when you have somebody that starts? I wonder how many times you had a detective or somebody that did solve a big case and did get some notoriety. I wonder how often that created somebody that sent them messages that tried to challenge them, that whether they did or didn't start doing things.
Right.
But just kind of put in that mentality of like, oh, so this is the guy that can solve anything, right? Well, time to make something they can't solve. I wonder, like, you know, life craves balance, man. The pendulum. Yeah, it was the Ren video I showed you.
Right.
One thing that he said at the end of the video, go check that out. It's absolutely amazing. It's Hi Ren. And at the end, when he does his monologue and everything, he says, I realized that, like, it's not a battle with mental illness. It's a dance. It's an eternal dance, and it's a pendulum that's always swinging. And the more it swings into the light, well, then the darker the shadow that it casts. And it's always back and forth. And you can't be rigid against it, because like a dance, if you're rigid, you can't do the moves.
Can't move.
You have to let go and relax. And like that just like spoke a lot to me, and I think about that in different situations. It's kind of the same thing when I was telling you, we were talking earlier about books, and I was talking about the Tao of Pooh. The Tao of Pooh changed my life, but it was like one of those things where I was saying, like, life is water and it's going down the hill, and you can either be water with it, or you can try and be a rock, and it's either going to go around you or through you.
Yeah.
You know, but it's gonna still get to the bottom. You're not stopping it.
Right.
You know? So yeah, I bet it would. I can see that, you know, and the more fantastic the hero, the more fantastic the villain to counterbalance that hero.
I don't. I mean, I do know that it's been touched on before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like been mentioned in movies, but they've never really gone into that dynamic. But I feel like the one movie that they really did kind of start, like they started to peel the onion of that.
Yeah.
Was Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yeah. You think about it. They jailed them.
Right.
And, you know, Harvey Peck was kind of like, hey, man, this shit wasn't happening until they came around.
Yeah.
Same thing in the second one.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, they were out of business.
Right.
Now here they are again.
And
now here it is again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like that's
a good point.
That's why the Ghostbuster thing got me like a little more intrigued, because it was like, all right, well, do they exist because of this, or do they exist and then, like you said, it's a challenge?
Well, you know, we're probably captivated by these stories because they go back since the beginning of time.
Right.
Angels and demons.
Right.
God and the devil. You know what I mean? Like, there's always an opposing force. There's always You know, it's the bullshit they tell you when they tell you, like, this is why you have to be good.
Right.
You know, it's like, because the evil, you know, and it's like we've had that pumped into our heads, and maybe that's why we're so fascinated by those stories.
Yeah.
You know, because we're always kind of like looking for that, like, yeah, how far can each go?
Right.
You know?
Sure.
I like the duality of that. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that
Interesting.
stuff. I love that stuff. I also love storytelling in movies that, like, so there's good and evil.
Yep.
Right? Like recently in Disney movies, and this is gonna sound like really fucking stupid, but seriously, they don't necessarily have a main antagonist, right?
Right.
So you're used to, okay, well, here's your antagonist that's gonna be the hardship of this whole movie. And a lot of them, like there was like Toy Story 4, and there was Frozen 2 and stuff like that, where there was no good guy, bad guy. It was all about perspective.
Right.
And it was all about, like, yeah, in the beginning you were like good guy and a bad guy, but it was all about the perspective. And I really, really love stories like that. That's why I
Well,
enjoy
those villains,
like Wicked.
believe that they're the hero.
Right.
You know,
But even in some ways you can
except
look
the
at
Joker, because the Joker.
Well, yeah, no,
like,
he knows he's bad and he likes it.
well, but he's challenging the authority of all of it, which is what makes him unique.
Right.
Is he's like, there's no heroes and there's no villains. There's just chaos and order.
Right.
And the order is being ruled. And I refuse to be ruled. So I'm going to show you chaos. And anybody can be either heroic or villainous.
You know what the thing is about chaos? It's fair.
It is fair.
Yeah, I you know, the other Wicked.
Uh-huh.
One of the things I really like about it is that if you just take a different perspective on it, it changes the whole story.
Yeah.
And I feel like Disney's starting to do that quite a bit. They've done that, you know. They've done that in some of their attractions as well, which is pretty cool. But I always I like that story too. Like, hey, listen, I of course I love seeing the villains, but at the same time, some of the most compelling stories are of two forces finding that common ground and perspective and going,
Yeah.
oh wait, no, you're not the asshole,
Right.
and then the other one, oh, no, you're not the asshole. This is a misunderstanding because of this.
Yeah. Hey, Thanos did what he did because he did it fair. He
Right.
did it so those that live could prosper instead of everyone suffering.
I've seen shirts and hats that say Thanos was right.
Yeah. So I went to see Annie and I went to see the Jaws. The Shark is Broken, which is a Broadway show about Jaws, put on by Ian Shaw, who is the son of Robert Shaw, who was Quint in the movie, the captain. And the play is about the things that they talked about while sitting on the boat waiting to shoot because the shark was broken, and they couldn't shoot that day. And one of the things that they were talking about is one of the conversations they had was about sharks outliving all of us and how they've been around forever and how like they're perfect and they're like the perfect predator, and they're like, you know, who knows, thousands and thousands of years from now there'll be no humans left on the earth and then it'll just be sharks. And one was like, yeah, and you know what, they'll see this movie and it'll be a whole different movie to them. They'll be like, look at this guy. He was just going around minding his business. Sure, he ate a few people and everything, and then these assholes came out and killed him.
That's fantastic.
He was in the ocean, in his house, doing his own thing, and these assholes came in from outside, hooked him up with barrels, chased him around, and blew him up.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why
the humans are the villains.
That's why Jaws: The Revenge happened.
Because the humans are always the villains.
Mm-hmm.
God, we suck.
Be better, people.
Seriously.
Be better. Well.
All right. On that note.
This is a fun one.
Yeah, it was.
We're in Miami. We'll be back.
Yeah.
We might do more from Miami.
You never know.
We'll
see what night 2 brings. I mean, this was... We flew in, we got food, we got drinks. Yeah.
So, we'll see. Maybe more content from Miami coming soon. Here on Big Is My Podcast. Until next time, always remember, ask yourself one super important question. Jimmy, what is that question?
What's your bacon? And be a better human.
World peace.
Sharks were right.
The Deluxe Edition Network, also known as The Den, is an incredible podcast network that offers a wide variety of entertaining and informative podcasts.
With a lineup of shows covering various topics, such as interviews with a wide variety of guests, history, music, relationships, true crime, and so much more. The Den provides content that caters to a diverse range of interests.
The hosts and guests on the Deluxe Edition Network demonstrate a deep passion and expertise in their respective fields, making each episode on each show engaging and thought-provoking.
The network fosters a sense of community by encouraging listeners to interact through live chats, social media, and forums, creating an inclusive environment for discussion and sharing opinions.
With its commitment to high-quality production, the shows in the Deluxe Edition Network continue to captivate and entertain its ever-growing audience.
Whether you're a podcast enthusiast or someone looking to explore new topics, The Den is a fantastic platform to dive into and uncover fascinating insights from experts in their fields.
The Deluxe Edition Network is the home of independent awesomeness.